Por mujeres como tú, amor, hay hombres como yo que se pueden morir con dignidad, mordiendo el corazón. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Avian Fluff here with another video for you guys, and SelfAware Sunday episode 4, family. God damn it. So I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, what's that gonna entail? For me, family is simple. What does family mean to me? You know, what does family hold in my life? And who maybe do I consider family? So, pretty easy questions for me. Family, of course, you know, to me is everything. Everything I do, every step I take in life, every decision, every, error, everything that I do either has a positive or negative impact. Hopefully not negative, but it does happen at time from time. But usually it's this way. Everything I do is for family. Is the name of family. Whether it's my mother's. Hopefully nobody goes into my mother's name. Or my dad's name. Just basically everything I do is for my family, for the name, for the people, for everything. And so going into that, the most important people in my life, of course, are my parents. I'm not taking anything away from my brothers, some of my cousins, and people I consider my family. But at the end of the day, the two beings in this world that I honestly could tell you guys mean the world and mean everything to me to that extent is my parents. I would lay down my life for my parents. I would, do everything in my power I could for my parents. And there's days where I do feel like a bad son because, maybe I didn't communicate with my parents as much as I probably should. But at the end of the day, everything I do is for my parents. I do it so they're proud. I do it for, for encouragement. I do it for all of that. I do it to make sure that my parents know that I love them, that, everything I do is, in the hopes that they recognize the impact that they had in my life and the positive impact they have. They are the driving force behind everything I do in life. Whether, it's, going and getting a job or going and achieving dreams and whatever it might have been, they are the driving force behind that. And I could not be more grateful for them to that, because without them, there would be no Jeremy, with all the past things I've had in my life. The two constant things that I've had is how much of an impact my parents had in it. And, at the end of the day, that's how important they are, and I'm not saying that I don't have people that are important to me. I have many cousins and they know who they are. If you don't know who you are, there's a problem there, because I usually tell you how important you are in my life, or how much, I love you guys. And, it's just it's a very strong subject, right? Because I have aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sister, my parents. I have friends that I consider brothers. I have, and sisters, and I have many people in my life that I consider very important. But at the end of the day, the two constants, the two reasonings, the two mainstays in life into why I do the things I do are my parents. And that's mainly the main driving force behind everything. I want to leave a good enough impact. If I ever, if I do leave this earth before my parents, I want to make sure, that they remember me as a good son, that people remember me as being a good son to not only my parents, but a good person that my parents raised, that a good person that my parents were able to show into this world. And, man, it's an amazing feeling, right? Because family could mean everything, and I know many people that family means nothing. I've been fortunate enough to tell you that family means everything to me. And I've also been, unfortunate to know people that family destroyed them. They could honestly give two fucks about their family, and I'm just grateful that in my situation, I might have not had to grow up with that, because I had parents that loved me, I had brothers that loved me, I had a sister that loves me. I had many people in my life that love me, and the impact I was able to do with that, it's a whole different ballgame, right? And so they're all the main force behind why I do the things that I do. I started lifting and playing sports because of my dad and my brother. Because they wanted to see, how good I could do. Right? Soccer was my dad's main passion. Football was our second. My brother's, same way. And so, when it came to sports, I looked up to my dad. Growing up watching my dad play sports, it was all about that. Growing up watching my mom recover from the health issues she had, for me growing up, it was a driving force behind why I am so determined as I am. My mom is the most determined and the most courageous, the most strong-willed, human being I've known in my life. The things my mother has been through and the fact that she's still the caring, loving, amazing person that she is amazing to me. It's honestly the why I try to be the same way in my life, knowing the shit that I've been through. It's just a characteristic that I try to take away from my mother. And same goes for my father. My dad's the most hardworking, honest, honest to God individual that I've known. He has many other factors that are similar to my mother's. And, I'm grateful to God that I was able to take a lot of that from them and put it into my life, because I had the best of both worlds, right? For my mom, I was the baby, of the family. For my dad, I'm the only child. So I got spoiled. I'm not going to lie to you guys there. Family, for me, meant I got spoiled a lot as a kid. But they also made sure with those spoils, I didn't lose sight of the hard work that came with them. I had to work hard for my shit. I worked hard for anything I earned in this life. Whether it was my first car, whether it was my first, my first job, even, my dad told me, here's this, figure it out. You know how to do it. And I went from there, and, I worked with my father for a couple of years and learned a lot of lessons there. I've worked, at the business I have now for so many years, and I can honestly consider a lot of people there, my family as well. And so, for me, family has always not been always blood, right? Yeah, you have your distinctual, that's your actual, term is, blood related, that's family. But for me, I have many family members that aren't blood related. I got, two brothers that I've grown up with since I was 5 years old. And I know one of them's doing this dream just like I am. The other one's just, just there with us for the ride. And, he's just as supportive. He's just as awesome. And, we go through this life, we lose some family members and we gain some. And for me, I've lost a lot of people I consider my family. A lot of people I consider, my brothers and sisters. And, I've lost a couple and gained new ones. And, at the end of the day, for me, as long as somebody's got your back and they support you, but they still keep it real with you, whether it's blood or not, and you consider them more vital than just a friend or a best friend or whatever, that's family. That to me means that you cannot fathom calling that person anything else besides your brother, your sister, cousin, whatever it might be, and so for me, that's the driving force behind everything, and so when I tell you guys I have a lot of family, for me, if I consider you my brother, or if I consider you a sister, or, I'll go, for me, if I call you cousin, what's up, cuz, for me, that just means, I recognize you as someone important, or someone that's, I can see value in life, but you haven't passed the threshold of me being able to call you my brother. That just means you're to the point where you're almost there in my life, right? You could be my brother, but you're not yet. You feel me? And so, it's just the way I see things, and I can honestly tell you guys, it's a hard subject for me. All these are. I don't know why this season has been the hardest one to talk about, but it's an amazing feeling for me to be able to tell you guys that I can go home right now. Mom's going to be waiting for me, because I got to, make sure she's good. But, she'll be waiting for me, and she's going to ask me, how my day's been. What did I do today? How was it? Was it slow? Was it busy? Hey, do you want to, how was this? How was that? And it's a refreshing course to have that every day in my life. And I know some people miss that with their family. I know my dad misses that with his mom. I know my mom misses that with her mom and her dad. My dad misses that with his dad and his mom. And I miss it with my grandmas, because I'll be fucking darned if both my grandmas didn't love me as if I was their only child. You know, they love me as if I wasn't even a grandkid. They both loved me as if I was their kid, and that was another valuable thing I learned in life, you know, and it's something that I will take on to my kids, is to value the generation after your own parents, and that's, you know, your grandparents, to value their aunts and uncles, even their parents. And if you get a chance to like experience all of them, you know, to be able to learn from them. You know, my dad, I saw so much of my grandpa in my dad, because of course, you know, I see my dad more often than I do my grandpa, but I saw so much that my dad took away from my grandpa, you know, characteristics, personality wise, all that kind of stuff, and put it into his own niche. You know, I saw so much of my grandma and my mom, and it's just an amazing feeling to be able to tell you guys that I've been able to do the same thing with my family. You know, I've been able to take parts from mom, from my dad, from, you know, my brothers, my sister, you know, and really just make my own person, right? That's why we have our own personalities. But at the end of the day, some people will be like, "Oh, you're just like your dad, or you're just like your mom." I get the fucking thing where I'm like, God, you're just like both of them, because I took both of my parents, picked the good, you know, and you know, I won't lie to you guys, when it goes bad, you know, I'm just like them too. You know, I got the temperament of my father, where I won't get so pissed off, you know, so quickly. I have the patience to get, you know, so far before you really push my buttons. But once you push my buttons, god damn, I'm just like my mother, you know, and she'll agree with that. My dad will agree with that. And at the end of the day, you know, I give thanks to God that I learned the best qualities from my parents, and that's the kindness, the respect, the, you know, the human nature aspect of it, right? My parents are both the most kind, the most humble, the most, you know, caring and honest people I've ever known in my life. And so I try to, you know, create my own image in those steps, right? Because I know for a fact I'll never be like my father. You know, my dad's been through things in life that, you know, him and me will always be in two different aspects in life, but we still have our own, you know, our own ways of going through life. I will never truly be like my mother just because of the things my mom's been through. Fuck, I hope to God, you know, I don't have to go through those things, but I hope to God I can somehow learn the same values she learned, just in different ways. You know, and same thing with my father. My dad, damn, dude, my dad, for as much shit as my mom's been through, you know, my dad maybe not have been, you know, might have not been through a lot of that stuff, but man, my dad's been through a shit ton too. And I applaud both my parents, because the shit they've been through, and the fact that they've been able to stay, you know, humble, kind, you know, and all this shit, you know, it amazes me. And it's something that I hope I don't lose sight of when I get older, and I might have to start going into their shoes and, you know, seeing world from their perspectives. And, you know, it's just, it's love, man. Like, I will honestly tell you, anybody I call my brother, I love them. Or my sisters, you know, my real sister, of course, I love more than, you know, a person I call my sister, you know, a girl that I call my sister. But I love them. You know, they're meant to be my family for a reason, or they're meant to be family for a reason. And so, for me, if I tell you, you know, you're my brother, you better expect one night, if we both get drunk off our asses and we start crying over some dumbass bitch that dumped us, you know, back in the fucking 12th grade, you know, back when we were both young bucks right there, bud. But like, you know, you bet your ass if I tell you I love you, and even if I'm drunk as fuck, I honestly mean it. You know, if I tell you I love you now, you know, and I consider you a brother or a sister, you know, you bet your ass I mean it. I'm not gonna throw that card around like it's fucking, you know, folly, because I don't believe that shit. If you don't believe you love somebody, I don't see why you use that phrase. You know, that for me is a sacred phrase, and it has lost its meaning, you know, in these times. And just like we've lost sight of really how we used to handle family. I know, you know, technology brings us closer, but it also takes us apart. You know, because man, I'm just grateful to have my family in my life. You know, they support my goals. They allow me to do the things that I do. You know, at first they weren't so supportive. Fuck, I remember my father. God damn it, dude. He fucking, oh, sweet Lord. If I could tell you guys the shit my dad told me when I told him I was going to try out YouTube. Oh, sweet Lord. I think I'd go to jail. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad, but for a kid that at that age, for a kid to be told that YouTube ain't the best idea, you know, it was a very hard lesson to learn. But my dad was right. As a kid, YouTube was not the way to go. YouTube was just a dream, an action that I would have to perform. But back then, I wasn't ready. I didn't know who exactly I wanted to be, right? And so now going through life, my mom was always supportive. My mom was the kind of lady, it's still the kind of lady that she'll be like, you tell her I want to go do this. My mom will be, all right, where's your determination? How are you going to do it, right? My dad's the same way, but my dad wants to also be realistic. If you can't manage to do it, don't do it. If if I want to go be a fucking astronaut, right? My dad knows right now, there's no fucking way, because I just don't have that drive to want to go do all the shit that they do. Don't get me wrong, there's people that can. I'm not one of them, and that's what I'm telling you. Like, your parents will tell you something when they don't see it being a possibility. They know what you can and cannot reach just based off your interest as you've shown as kids. At least that's what I noticed. My dad told me, when I told him I wanted to be an engineer or a doctor, mom was happy. Mom wanted to hear the doctor part. My dad was like, maybe an engineer, but I don't see you being a doctor. Just because he knew my personality. In one way it was good, but one way it was bad. And my work ethic, although good, was still, in a way, not going to be the same thing that I needed. And so the one thing, I guess you can take from this is, if you find your family, right, whether blood related or not, if you find the people you love and they're supportive, they love you, and you can honestly trust them with the world, I feel like with that kind of support in your corner, you're gonna get through anything in life. Whether it's depression, anxieties, situations, just happiness, loneliness, whatever it is. As long as you have a support system and you can consider them your family, you will get through, I'd say, almost everything. Because I'm sure there's going to be a couple things where family won't be able to help you, but for the most part, I'm sure, goddamn sure, they'll fucking try. And so, let's say, I do this for them, man. I do this for my parents. I do this for the people that look up to me. I do this for the people I consider my family, for my brothers, for my sister, for, my cousins that look up to me, that have always looked up to me, the ones that aspire to, have their own goals and their own ambitions, and they look to me for guidance. And I try to, show them the same guidance and same love that the people before have to me. And I just hope you guys loved watching these videos, man. And if you guys have made it this far, thank you. It shows me that you guys, care, that you guys enjoy. I couldn't thank you guys enough. You guys have been very amazing to me. We're at 141 subs now, and I couldn't be more grateful for each and every single one of you. You guys help, this dream. You guys help, create everything I have. And, although I usually don't plug anything at the end of these videos, please do me a favor. Avian, which is the part of, the gaming group I am currently with, the gaming, we call ourselves a family of our own, and we really are. We support each other as much as we can. We have a new apparel website, and I really want you guys to go look at that stuff. Let me know if you guys buy anything, and I will let you guys, and I'll see what I can do, for any future things like discounts or anything on any other products you might get. I have some things in the works that I'm hoping, come to fruition. If they do, you guys will see them here soon, because they will have to be plugged. Anyways, thanks, you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I love you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and if you haven't already, shared this video. And we'll see you guys on the next SelfAwareSunday. Peace.